In the previous video, we looked at two important life processes. One included movement and locomotion, the other was respiration. Now let's talk about some more characteristics. After respiration comes reproduction. Reproduction is giving birth to exactly same or similar offsprings. However, reproduction is usually not considered as the fundamental characteristics that defines life. And why am I saying this? It's simply because many organisms, for example the animal mule, is sterile. That means unable to reproduce. But that does not make it a non-living being. It's still a living organism. This is the reason why reproduction, though a characteristic of life, is not a fundamental property which defines life. It's not an important property to define life. But it's definitely a point used to differentiate between the living and the non-living. That is because non-living objects can never reproduce. Next, and a very important characteristic that we have is growth. Have you ever seen a baby born which remains the same for the next 10 years? Or have you seen a small plant that has just developed a couple of leaves remaining the same size with the same number of leaves for the next 20 years? Of course not. The baby grows into a kid and eventually an adult, while the plantlet becomes a huge tree. Living organisms grow. Growth is one of the very important characteristics of life. On the other hand, the cradle in which the newborn baby was housed remains the same size forever. The younger siblings can be housed in it in the future. Similarly, the stones near the plantlet remain the same forever. They do not grow. Thus, growth is one important characteristic used to define life. Now we come to the most important of all the characteristics, the presence of cells. What are cells? And why are they so important to us? We will discuss that next.